Next on our agenda is House File 3874. Representative Hansen, would you like to move your bill?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would move that House File 3874 be re-referred to the Judiciary and Civil Law Committee.
Representative Hansen, to your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I do not have an amendment. I think this is just the bill as it is. Members, this bill deals kind of with two parts. The first is increasing the penalty relating to buffer law violations. Believe it or not, it has been almost 9 years since the buffer law was passed. And so this would increase the penalty similar to what Representative Lee's bill had said, to make it something consequential rather than the cost of doing business. And it provides that authority to the counties or the watershed districts who would know best what to do there. Secondly, the Lawns to Legumes program, we are now up to 23,000 potential participants. This would make their data private, not public. And so the bill is going to Judiciary Committee because of those purposes. We don't want all of those Minnesotans to be getting a lot of advertising directed to them with their data. So this would, like we do with many other people, make it not public information. So that is the bill, and I don't have any other testifiers. I believe there is someone here from Bowser who could describe the details if needed.
Yes, I have Dave Wyrens from Bowser. Welcome. Please identify yourself for the record and proceed with any testimony you may have.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, my name is David Wyrens. I'm Assistant Director with the Board of Water and Soil Resources. Just a few brief comments on House File 3874. Regarding the administrative penalty order language that's provided here, a couple of observations that we would make about that is that the changes that are proposed here will provide an additional tool to us as we are undertaking our enforcement work under the riparian protection law. The other thing it does as well is it provides a consistency. We've had this authority for administrative penalty orders for the Wetland Conservation Act for about 15 years now, and this would make the authority identical for both of those programs. So there's certainly some value in regards to that. As we look at the Laws of Legumes provision in Section 3, there's a little more context I think that's helpful for the committee. And we do support this language regarding the change in application of the Data Practices Act. It's important to recognize that when we make grants, it's typically to local governments and non-governmental organizations. The information that they provide as part of our granting processes are public data as well. And these individual citizens that are applying for Laws of Legumes funds, they're treated identically to local governments and NGOs in terms of their contact information, their addresses, and that sort of information. We think this is something, a change that will help provide some additional protection to those individuals and keeping some of that data as non-public information. All other information about the Laws of Legumes program would be public, but just trying to make sure that individuals are not providing unnecessary information through a public data request. So we do support that that language in House File 3874.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to testify on this bill? Now we will go to questions from members. Representative Heinzman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I have a number of questions. So, Representative Hansen, I'm going to start with what I thought I heard you say was a 9-year gap between the penalties that were set previous to the penalties that you're adjusting. And if I have that wrong, I apologize. I just wanted to clarify based on your testimony if that's what we're looking at. Because if that is the case, it would be a 20 times increase from $500 to $10,000. Maybe the time frame is different, but if you could address either the time frame and then also the significant increase from what would be, I think, as you mentioned earlier, cost of doing business versus 10,000. Hopefully there could be something in the middle.
Representative Hansen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And if I was unclear. It has been, I was trying to make the point, it's been 9 years since the buffer law was passed, and these penalties were in that. I am not saying it's an inflationary increase for those 9 years. I think as Mr. Wyrens had noted, this brings the penalties into line with the Wetland Conservation Act. As has been the case with, the discussion with the Pollution Control Agency, the discretion is with the agency. Often there is a notice of violation, or there's a series of steps that go on, so you have a situation where it has to be quite egregious. That discretion is there, and providing that to the county and the watershed district. As I mentioned, the APO authority, they're going to know that area best. So that discretion is not the county or that watershed district. And as you know, we have provided money to the counties and the watershed districts for enforcement. This tool will make sure that there's a penalty side that is greater than what it has been and is equivalent to the Wetland Conservation Act.
Representative Heinzman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the other item that I wanted to address was the Lawns to Legumes program, which we've debated on the floor many times, and there may be some examples or some data showing that the Lawns to Legumes program may not be as widely liked or appreciated, and some cities rejecting that program entirely. What's the reason for making some of this information classified as private?
Representative Hansen.
Madam Chair and Representative Heinzman, as I mentioned, I don't want it to be, I don't want the participants to be getting advertisements. I don't want them to be having services sold to them. I don't want to have political mailers going to them. I want to make sure that that data is protected as other, some of the other government program participants are.
Representative Heinzman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have, as I just mentioned, a few questions about the bill and concerns, so I think I will leave it at that and appreciate the answers and would also ask for a roll call.
A roll call has been requested. Any further discussion on the bill? Representative Hansen, would you like to make any closing comments?
Members, again, as was testified to, this is bringing the penalty authority equivalent to the Wetland Conservation Act as what it has been for 15 years, and it provides protection to those folks who participated in the Lawns to Legumes program so that they will not be pestered for participating.
Thank you. Mr. O'Neill, will you take the roll?
Chair Hansen.
Aye.
Chair Hansen, aye. Vice Chair Jordan.
Aye.
Vice Chair Jordan, aye. Representative Heinzman.
No.
Representative Heinzman, no. Representative Bliss.
No.
Representative Bliss, no. Representative Brand.
Brand, aye.
Representative Brand, aye. Representative Burkle.
Burkle, no.
Representative Burkle, no. Representative Edelson.
Aye.
Representative Edelson, aye. Representative Finke. Representative Finke, aye. Representative Fisher.
Fisher, aye.
Representative Fisher, aye. Representative Gilman.
No.
Representative Gilman, no. Representative Jacob.
No.
Representative Jacob, no. Representative Lee.
Lee, aye.
Representative Lee, aye. Representative Lislegard, excused. Representative Purcell.
Aye.
Representative Purcell, aye. Representative Scraba.
Scraba, no.
Representative Scraba, no. Representative Vang.
Aye.
Representative Vang, aye. Madam Vice Chair, the ayes are 9, the nays are 6, and 1 excused.
The vote of 9 to 6. House File 3874 is being re-referred to the Judiciary, Finance, and Civil Law Committee.